All right, we're here with Rhys Hine, and the purpose of this interview is to kind of get everybody up to date and on the same page, and to prevent poor Rhys from having to repeat himself
Yeah.
1,000 times with what's been happening with this this proposed data center. So, Rhys, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Rhys. I'm from Sarcoxie, born and raised. Been here my whole life.
What do you do for work?
Project supervisor at Digger Specialties in Carthage.
Okay.
So basically anything that can be thrown under a project umbrella, I deal with.
You deal with, all right. And you have property, County Road 20 and Dogwood. How far are you from the proposed site?
So if you go property line to property line, it's like 0.3 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my name's Blair MacArthur. I'm the southernmost house on County Road 20 before you get to the interstate. I'm from New Zealand originally in 2004. Wife and I drove trucks for about 10 years, and I drive for myself now. And I got citizenship in 2011. We bought this place 2008, so we've been out here a while. Moved out here for the open spaces and get away from everybody else kind of thing.
Just like everyone else, we get the rural lifestyle.
Yeah, pretty much. So what's the name of the Facebook group for a starter?
It is Say No to Data Centers, Keep Jasper and Lawrence Counties Rural.
Okay. The proposed Geronimo plan. Can you run us through a quick recap of what they're proposing to do?
So it's a two-step project. Step one is a solar farm up in northeast, or I guess more northeast of La Russell. It kind of bleeds halfway into Lawrence County and Jasper County. And then the phase two is an actual data center park just north of here.
Okay. When they say data center park, is that a nice way of saying data center with a lot of buildings?
It's multiple data centers in one location. So like industrial park, but it's just data centers.
Okay.
Yep.
6 proposed buildings?
According to their rendering they put on their website, which they took off. So maybe they changed their mind on 6 buildings. But
that's important to note. When this all blew up on last Friday or the Friday before,
I think Friday before, there was a bird's eye view of the project, which thus disappeared after Friday night. So how did you find out about it? So my coworker went to the Sarcoxie City Council meeting, and Geronimo was there, and they were showing everyone the original map that I posted, the one with the circle and kind of where the solar is.
Yep, the famous pink circle.
Yep. And he sent me a picture of it and was talking to me about it at work. He said, "Hey, I know you own land over here, and I figured this is something you wanted to see." And that's the first I ever heard of it. And a few days, 2 or 3 days later, we met with that Geronimo rep at my in-laws, who also live on Dogwood. And that's the first interaction I had with Geronimo, kind of talking about the project and what their plans were and stuff like that.
Some form of a sales pitch from them?
Yeah. You know, saying things along the lines of, we've got some deals worked out. We are in talks with some other landowners. This is kind of what data centers are. This is, how much noise, since you're within the half-mile radius, is the kind of noise volume you're going to be looking at. And stuff like that, just their normal, trying to be a good neighbor. I think that's their number one pitch, is they keep saying they're trying to be a good neighbor.
Yeah, stewards of the land.
Yeah.
I noticed anybody can go to the Geronimo Power website if you hadn't been there before already. It's almost kind of enough to make your corporate sick with the amount of...
Yeah, it's a lot of corporate jargon.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, how we're good stewards of the land, and et cetera, et cetera. There's got to be for and against arguments. So obviously you and I don't really want it down the road.
Right.
As the group on Facebook, which is 300 odd people.
It's close to 700 now.
700
on
now?
Facebook, yeah, and the online petition has almost 2,000 signatures.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's a fair amount of backlash against
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I got some momentum.
Can you think of any good arguments for a data center?
Tax revenue is the only good thing I could think of.
That tax revenue is going to be going to Jasper County and the state.
Yep, and the school district, I believe, would be the only things.
Okay. And that's through Jasper County, through our property taxes, or through property taxes they're paying, or are they?
It would be through property taxes that they would pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would be the only benefit to it. I guess working from should we work from the city level up, or the state, or the government, or the federal level down?
The city can't do much, just because it's out of city limits.
Yep.
Now they did go to the city. That's why they were at the city council meeting, as just like hey, this is what we're doing in the area, and we have a charitable fund of up to $10 million in donations.
Oh, okay.
So that's part of their sales pitch to the city and the school. They went to the school district as well and gave them sort of the same thing.
So if it's outside city limits and there's nothing Sarcoxie can do, so they turned up to the meeting saying we've got $10 million in available.
Yeah, I think the way I've researched it, it's $10 million. You have access to $10 million over 20 years, so about $500,000 a year in donations.
Okay.
It's like their community fund, so they would donate it to the city or to the fire district or whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's a lot of money.
I noticed, I just picked up a Sarcoxie record today. I see that Mr. Donnelly had put an article in there. I hadn't read much on that so far. So moving up to the county level, I've spoken, and you've spoken with
Jimmy Morris.
Jimmy Morris.
Yep. Yeah, I've talked to him quite a few times. County, there's not much they can do since we don't have zoning laws, which we could. I mean, you could try to get zoning laws, but that's the whole reason people move out here, is to not, have Big Brother over them telling them what they can do. And so I think that's kind of counterintuitive, and it's not a guarantee also, because the county, or the way the state statute's written, is you vote on planning, zoning, or planning and zoning, and then you have to create a board. And that board could easily just say, yeah, we can rezone that to commercial and allow it. So it's not even a guaranteed route with zoning.
Okay. And that would have to pass all Jasper County residents, which is the big obstacle, is nobody wants to be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the reason we come out here. I think the only thing you have to have a permit for is septic in Jasper County?
Through county, as far as I know. I'm not sure about wells. I know septics, they're certified through the county.
Through Department of Natural Resources, I believe you have to apply for a permit for a well.
Yeah, probably. I think so. Or maybe for a well. Or your well guy maybe does that. I'm not sure.
Right.
But I know septic is through the county, and they have a list of people that are allowed to put in septics and stuff like that.
That's one thing I've noticed with a lot of the Facebook chatter, is that people are kind of, there's a feeling of, well, come and save us, you're our elected representatives.
Yeah.
And then it boils down to, well, what can we actually do? And it's not like we can just change the rules for us out here. Mm-hmm. That's why I thought that the Jasper, we weren't going to get anything passed for making a bill all of a sudden that's just going to make this evaporate and go away.
Yeah, and I mean, and I've also worked with Ann Kelly, who's our state representative.
Yep.
And again, there's not much like legally she can do, like propose or pass a bill. I mean, that requires the whole House and Senate and all that. But she's been a great resource for information, and any questions I have, she's been able to answer, like possible avenues that we could pursue. Same thing with Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy's been helpful. He's the one that did all the research on precedent in the county on doing a moratorium or stopping the project in general. So,
and he didn't come up with anything that was okay.
No. He made a pretty good Facebook post in that group.
Yeah,
I think it was close to a week ago he made that post. I recommend you read that, and it kind of gives a lot of the answers of what he's looked into and what could be done.
Yep. Okay. I've dealt with Ann Kelly before on a separate issue, and I agree. She is hands-on with what she does.
Yeah, she's great.
She's the 126th, 127th area.
It's 26 or 27th. 126 or 127th. That's one of those two.
Area representative. Yeah. But for the state to enact legislation, it would have to be statewide.
Yeah, it would.
Is there anything you found happening in Missouri where legislation on the state level has turned against the data centers?
Yeah, there's a Senate bill. I don't remember the number off the top of my head that was proposed right before the legislators went on their spring break. But it was Senate Bill 3 something. I don't want to say the number just because I could be wrong. But it was across the state of Missouri, a moratorium on data centers for 2 years. So
all right.
that would have to go through the Senate and then through the House, and then I don't remember if it goes back to the Senate or what, but I don't remember the whole process. But it was proposed. I know that.
Okay, so
I haven't
it's
checked
like
on
notice of proposed rulemaking, or it's been written but hasn't been introduced.
Well, it's been introduced. You can find it online.
Okay.
But it's still got to be voted on, and then it goes to the House. I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Any idea on a time frame on a resolution on that?
No, when I spoke to Ann Kelly about it, she wasn't very confident in it. Now, that doesn't mean that, in a week from now people change their minds, but the way she portrayed it to me, she wasn't very confident that was going to go anywhere.
Okay, and that's important,
Yeah.
is for us to do this and not blow smoke up
Yeah.
anybody's rear end
Yeah.
on what we think and yeah. Where were we?
I don't remember. Where were we?
County.
We talked about...
Yeah, county, the bill there. Oh, DNR, Department. So at the state level, we've got Department of Natural Resources, Department of Conservation, and Department of
U.S. Fish and Wildlife. That's a federal one.
U.S. Fish and Wildlife.
Yep.
So they are the only federal we've got for an angle at currently?
Yeah, so they're more worried about the endangered species. They're the ones that take care of it more than the Department of Conservation.
Okay.
So a lot of people talking in the comments have made posts about the Ozark cavefish, which are the blind fish that are over in Sarcoxie, or I think they might live in the water table. I'm not 100% sure, but they're the ones that are going to investigate if it's going to bring an impact to those animals and all the endangered species. Okay. So that's still an angle. They could come in and say, no, you can't build that there because it will endanger or hurt the endangered species more.
Okay.
So,
who's reached out to them? Yourself?
I haven't. There's a lady named Tracy who copied me on a couple emails that she's been going back and forth with U.S. Fish and Wildlife. So I think she sent a pretty long email talking about some of her concerns, and I think she was waiting for a response back, which I think they might have responded back today. I just haven't had a chance to read the email yet.
Gotcha.
So.
And that's the other thing, I hadn't even considered that. So if there's anybody watching this that has any other angle that they might be able to pursue, either get in touch with one of us or start pursuing it yourself and let either the group know or just doing something.
I've told people I can't do it all. So if try to do as much as you can, and if send me a message, keep me in the loop, do whatever, just I can't do it all. So do whatever you feel that you need to do to make yourself, involved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking about it is one thing, and then actually looking up the numbers, doing a little bit of research, picking up the phone, calling, emailing. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's been very helpful, the people that have sent me some of the research they've done and the people they've talked to, and that's really where I get a lot of my research is from talking to people outside sources, and then fact checking, double checking, and coming out with those posts that I've been making.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which have been pretty precise. Back to DNR on the Department of Natural Resources on the Missouri side. I got a data center information sheet in general. I've been back and forth with the gal, and she said she'd had about 7 responses so far via email. So the other 300 or 400 people, just start bombarding them with emails just to fill up the more noise, she might send it up the chain. But in the data sheet, she says DNR does not have statutory authority to regulate data centers specifically. The data implemented, that was the one I liked. The department does not have a definition of a data center.
Yeah, that's how new they are, in Missouri at least.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Missouri, as a state, isn't in the top 10 on the amount of data centers that are being built. I think Texas is number 1.
Yes.
So that's pretty new to the game, and that's why when I read that Senate bill I was talking about, they were saying that because it's new, the 2-year pause was to create the legislation around it to regulate it.
Right.
So,
just to put a
just 2-year
down.
pause to understand what the cause and effects are, understand what sort of legislation other states have done, and seems like a good idea to me. I want it to stop, but
at least to slow it down, pump the brakes on it, and
right.
Yeah, so Department of Natural Resources to me wasn't really much of an angle. Department of Conservation.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody get anywhere with Department of Conservation?
Let me think.
Or did that defer to the
I think
US?
on the endangered species, they deferred to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. I don't remember. I know there's been some people that have reached out and told me that they've talked to them, but most of it was about the endangered species, and that is handled on a federal level by U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Mm-hmm.
Okay, obviously, let's talk about the reason for opposition in the way of water, waste, noise, light, and construction. Starting with water, what's our concerns?
So, I talked to someone yesterday who had a long conference call with Geronimo Power, and since they're a developer, they don't even know what type of cooling systems these end users are actually going to use. So they've thrown out phrases like closed loops water systems, but there's others. There's quite a few other ones. You can do air cooled, which isn't really that efficient, which is kind of why they stay away from it. The closed loop system that they're talking about, in practice, the water within the system
is a closed loop.
It is a closed loop. It doesn't evaporate. It's basically antifreeze in there. But what uses the water is how they cool the
heat
system.
exchanger side of it.
Yep, exactly. So the most common is cooling towers, and those evaporate water. The water will consume the heat and then evaporate into the atmosphere.
Right.
And so that's what's going to take a lot of the water. But Geronimo doesn't truly know what cooling system the end users are going to use,
or how much that will,
or
will
how
be
much,
consumed.
or yeah, exactly.
So Geronimo is just the developer, and they really don't have a final. I'm wondering at what stage they actually sell it to the end user, being Facebook, military, whoever buys it.
Yeah, from someone I talked to in the community said a Geronimo rep, they're already in talks with potential end users. I think they were trying to get Oracle was one of the companies to put some in. So they're in talks. I mean, why wouldn't you be at this stage, right? You want to get it all lined out, so then when you start construction, you already know what you're building in the end.
Yep.
So
for the end, for the end user. So that's going to be drawn from Spring River or from the water table, or there's going to be initial fill to fill the system, and then where's the rest of the water coming from?
So there is like three approaches. So when I spoke to a Geronimo rep in person, he said that worst case scenario, they'll truck all the water in that they need. I do know they've submitted a permit request from DNR to pull water from Spring River.
Okay.
I don't know if that's for the initial fill or if that's for other cooling systems or what, or top offs or whatever.
I asked that gal about that, and she said they hadn't applied for the permit yet.
Oh, well, see, I've sent an email to Johanna at Ann Kelly's office, and she's supposed to be getting back with me on a permit number.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they have, I don't know. That's the thing that's why I'm created the Facebook group, is because people keep hearing different things, and I'm just trying to keep it all in one spot. But the third one is drilling wells, and that would directly, taking water from Spring River and drilling wells will affect the water table in one way or another.
Yeah.
But I could see them trucking in the initial fills, but then they're not going to keep trucking in constantly. It just doesn't seem,
day after day. It doesn't seem. Yeah.
Doesn't seem like the money's worth
feasible.
it there. Mm-hmm.
But then again, if they're giving how many million for a grant, there's
a
lot of money involved.
There is a lot
of
money
involved.
Who
knows?
A lot of money.
Waste. So there must be at some stage they clean out the closed loop cooling system, or there's loss or attrition, or where's any waste from the place going?
Yeah, from what I've seen, they'll normally do a complete top-off refill every 5 years.
Okay.
Is what I've seen online, and most of the leaks will come from breaks or cracks and the maintenance and stuff like that. Where that goes, I don't know, and I doubt Geronimo knows either, because I assume it's regulated. I'm not entirely sure, but also they are going to be in the county. They can almost get away with whatever they need,
This is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'd heard stories about them. Same as kind of fracking was blasting it down, a couple of 1,000 feet through.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but Geronimo, they truly don't know what the end user is going to do, and whatever cooling system they use will depend on how if there's waste and how they get rid of the waste, and they might have, if they do 6 buildings like their rendering said they do, they might be 6 different companies that do 6 different things. So
yeah.
They don't truly know.
Geronimo almost seems like the bulldozer that just kind of comes in,
Yep.
gets everything, and then, well, here you go, guys. You
Yeah.
just tell us what you want, and we'll.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they handle the. I mean, that's where their Geronimo Power started, was in renewable energy, and so that's why they have like the solar contracts and they have all that.
Yep.
I believe they bought out a company that already had the solar contracts up there, and that's kind of how it started. Too.
All
Yeah.
right. That's I have a little. Yeah, I had a little insight with a friend who went through it. They had a solar lawyer involved from Wichita. Doubled the initial offer from the solar company, and it fell over because there was no make right clause in there. So if the company went bankrupt, there was nothing in there that paid for everything to be pulled out and the land put back to how it was. The company said, we don't start funding that until year 12 of the project, and that's when it killed it.
Interesting.
None of the neighbors wanted to take that risk of them going bankrupt, because a lot of them have gone bankrupt, sold out, turned over.
Yeah, and when I spoke to the guy who talked to Geronimo yesterday, he had said that, they went back to their normal spiel of nothing set in stone. The project's still in the very early stages of planning.
Yep.
They did backtrack on that rendering that we were talking about.
Yes,
a little bit. They took it off their website. They said it was just preliminary. It's not a final design, but there's a lot of numbers in there and a lot of math that was done to not be close to a final design. They backtracked on that. As far as I know, they pulled their reps from the field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what they told him.
All right.
So, I mean, they know what we're doing and they're aware of it.
Yep.
I have a feeling one of them is in the Facebook group, because
sure they
it's
are
kind of
watching
convenient that the day after I post that rendering and about the electrical stuff, the next day it's off the website.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's to be remembered, is that everything that has been seen on that or discussed in that Facebook group is open to public, including Geronimo or end users or...
Yep.
It's almost kind of ironic that we're using Facebook and YouTube here shortly, and we're opposing a data center.
Yeah, and that's and I said that in my KOAM interview, is just the way technology is moving forward.
I like the way you worded that, actually.
Yeah, that it has to happen.
These are necessary.
Yep.
Maybe not necessary. These are coming, but maybe this place just isn't right for it.
And it's definitely not. I mean, there's industrial parks in Joplin that have empty lots waiting for things to be put in, and they could easily. It's already loud over there. They can easily drop one in there, and and the infrastructure, the power's already there, but.
I almost feel like this area has been pinpointed for the lack of regulation, the proximity to the substation there, proximity to water.
Oh, it's a great spot if you really think about it. Like if you're a developer, it's the perfect spot.
Yeah.
You already have solar contracts. You have wind turbines nearby. You have a Liberty substation that's less than a quarter mile away from where you want to build, and a river to pull water from. It's a perfect spot.
Next on the list on that that's power consumption. So noise, I think everybody's aware there is going to be. What they've said was 90 decibels on site, which is like a lawnmower going.
Yeah.
And then 30 decibels.
Which they've backtracked on that number too. When they talk to that guy, is they've never said, because they don't know what type of cooling systems, they don't know how loud it's going to be. So. Truthfully, I mean, all the answers that people have probably gotten have probably been false, because they truly don't know anything until they have a end user. Because if you look at their website, they'll use words like, the site is planned as a low water use facility, the site is planned to do this. So a lot of planned and not a lot of definitions. This is what it is. The noise, so the Geronimo rep told me in person 90 decibels, and I posted that in one of my posts, I believe. And they backtracked on that, and he also told us that they were going to start construction in spring of next year, and they backtracked on that, saying they never really set a date.
Okay.
So I know it's a lot of the noise and the water. It's all up in the air. We don't know what type of systems they're going to use.
Yeah. The light. The light, I didn't quite understand. Well, I guess they're going to have it lit up 24.
Oh yeah, it's going to run 24/7. They'll have. I mean, most data center parks have security guards running 24/7. It's going to be lit up like a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, true. Okay. And so there's going to be 600 odd. however many acres is going to be 10-foot fences with razor wire on the top.
Yeah.
The deer is not going to cross through
No,
there.
nope, they're not.
It's going to disrupt a lot of, and I thought maybe the noise pollution would upset birds, a lot of other wildlife that rely on that.
Yeah, and I think I just don't think in Missouri they don't have the data to know that these are the kind of effects that could happen because they're so new.
Yes.
And that's why, like you said, DNR doesn't even have a definition for what a data center is. Like that's how kind of behind the ball the state of Missouri is, and things move slow at a government level.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, that's been a lot of people's concern too, is the wildlife. There's a lot of people out here that hunt every year. They live off the meat throughout the year, and they love doing it, and they don't want that taken away from them.
No. Yeah, and don't blame them at all. And that came up in DNR. I'm going to stop talking about DNR because that didn't seem like they were going to be very. That was the shocking one. Major water users have to report their annual water usage to the department. Well, that's on the back end, and anyone who has the capability to withdraw at least 100,000 gallons per day from any water source in Missouri, and there's no regulatory restrictions on the amount of water that can be used or for what purpose. It's pretty much just to come in here, apart from exporting it across state lines and single-use plastics. That's about the only thing they've got in place.
Yeah, basically. I mean, and to touch on the power thing again, on my Facebook post about the power, all those numbers and stuff that I used were from their original rendering, which I posted in that post. And an important thing to remember in that post is the solar farm that they're building is 150 megawatts, but the technology in solar now is only 20 to 30% efficient.
Right.
So maybe you're going to get 40 megawatts. And according to their rendering, one of their data center buildings was rated for 70 megawatts of constant pole.
Hell. Okay.
So I know there's some.
So 6 of them is going to be 420 or
420, yeah. And I broke down all the math, like how many homes that can power and all that. But they're also backtracking on the design, so they don't really know. They don't know. That's kind of where it got to last night when I talked to that guy. Is when he spoke to them, they're backtracking on everything that they've said.
Right.
So if you speak to a Geronimo rep, or if someone calls you, I would highly recommend you record it. And just in case they can't say, no, we never said that.
Yes,
you did say it. Or yes, one of your representatives said it.
So they're going to be pulling the rest from the grid, or from Liberty.
Yeah.
Or at least Liberty will be supplying that power and will be paying for it. Do you think they would need to build any extra infrastructure to facilitate a data center here?
I'm sure. I know in that rendering, I just keep referring to it because it's the only idea we have of the scope of it.
Yeah.
But in that rendering, it had a 20-acre substation on its own.
I did notice that.
Yeah. So there's definitely going to be infrastructure upgrades. And another important thing to remember is, I can't remember the exact percentage, but there is a state statute that requires data centers. It might be federal or state to do a certain amount of energy is
Missouri, I believe,
through renewable energy. It has to be renewable energy, so it could be wind, could be solar. But there's also no guarantee. I think it's just. I made a comment about it on one of my posts. There's no guarantee that the wind power is actually going to go to that power that powers the substation.
Yep.
I can't remember the exact percentage. I want to say maybe 70% of their power has to be from renewable energy. So then the rest of the 30% is left up for Liberty to produce throughout its own grid.
Yeah.
And that 150 megawatt solar farm isn't really enough to compensate that difference.
Are you on Liberty where you live currently?
Yeah.
Okay. You notice that at the end, somewhere in the bill, there's the Asbury storm charge that we're getting from 14 years ago, where they had to buy power from outside the state at, I guess, quite a horrendous rate.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. That was kind of and who's going to pay for the extra infrastructure from Liberty? The Liberty consumers?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's just the way companies work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to pay for electric, so they're going to pass down the cost onto the consumers.
So the complaint of we're going to be paying more for power we will be eventually paying for added infrastructure to facilitate the data center over time.
Yeah, and I think from a legal standpoint, they can't say that's the reason, because I know they have to file like rate hikes and stuff like that
Public
through the
Utilities
state.
Commission.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I bet you that'll be the reason why, but that's not what they're going to write
Right.
in that.
And I've noticed those rate increases seem to get rubber stamped through 95% of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what to write on them to make them pass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the noise, light, the power, and the concern about the power. Suggestions on what opposing residents can do to help?
Keep spreading the word. Keep, telling everyone you can. Get them to sign the online petition. And I've said this in a couple posts. I'm aware that online petitions don't affect legislation.
Right.
But that's not the point. It's to get our point across to Geronimo
To show
that we don't want you here. We don't want the project to happen at all. So, I highly recommend everyone to share it. Share it on Facebook, share it with your friends and family. Just keep the conversation going, keep the momentum going. Keep reaching out to your state reps, DNR, U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Just don't let them forget that this is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not just a flash in the pan that goes away a week from now, and they continue with it. This will be going on my trucking interview channel. I normally just do interviews on there, and it's just a place basically to put it. That's the reason I bought the camera and the mics and the editing software to do that. So just share it with anybody who wanted a recap or is interested. Hopefully this kind of consolidates about where we're at so far. Have you learned anything new in the last couple of days we haven't mentioned?
No, other than they're kind of backtracking on everything, and they pulled their reps out of the field.
Yep.
So if a rep comes to your house, let me know. And remember to record it because that's a big deal.
Yep.
Especially now that they're backtracking on everything.
On their team, I noticed, I read the guys' bios, and they're all oil and gas, like Landman. Everyone loves Landman, but essentially that's where they got that's where they cut their teeth, is selling.
And that's typical Landman tactics that they're doing.
Yeah.
They say they're trying to engage with the community and tell everyone in advance. And from what I've heard, a lot of companies don't do that, which is good and bad at the same time. Good in knowing that it's happening before it's set in stone and already being built, but bad in a sense of they weren't really good at communicating the issues and actually giving straight answers.
Yeah.
And that's kind of on them.
And thanks to Rhys, because I don't think Rhys really wanted to be. He just posted something on Facebook, and now it's Rhys for president.
Oh, no.
But it is a lot of work keeping up with, trying to keep up with everything
is.
Get involved and communicate. So at least I appreciate you. I think a lot of other folks do. How old are you?
27.
27. I'm 50. I wish I could have been a little bit more like you when I was 27.
Yeah.
Instead of driving a dumb truck.
It started with the post. And when I thought about it after I talked to the Geronimo rep, because it was a few days after I talked to him when I made the post, I didn't just want to sit back and just let it happen.
Yeah.
At least try, because our dream is to build on our property, build out there, live out next to the family.
You're going to have kids and then grandkids and eventually.
Yeah, I have a 2-year-old daughter. So I want her to live out here and enjoy the country life, and didn't want to roll over and let that be taken away from me.
No, I think it would be a real shame if that changed the landscape around here.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not what I signed up for.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll probably discuss the possible effects. Maybe we'll follow up with another video in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
concerned about the roads. We're going to get tore up.
Oh,
with traffic.
yeah, for sure.
Because of what I do with trucking and the oversize, I know the multi-axle and the weights that's going to be coming in here and the mess it's going to create. So.
Yeah, I know some people had some concerns whenever they were doing the wind project north of 96. And
I know
they said they were going to fix the roads. Well, they did.
They did eventually.
They did.
5 years later.
Yeah. And even then, people are complaining they're still not 100%.
Bill Burris's comment in the email to me was, I believe most people were happy with the end result. I know for a fact there was not a lot of happy campers after that.
Yeah.
But we'll hit that later. You probably got to get to work tomorrow and got stuff to do. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
We'll wrap it up here, guys.
Oh.